Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today's a different day. I keep looking back. Anyways. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing all right. Like, it's 2021, which is great. It's fantastic. It's really cold outside. Not really cold, but maybe like 50 something degrees. And me talking with my mouth open. But I actually wanted to come and talk to you guys today about purpose, but not specifically just broad term purpose, but purpose in respect to relationships, specifically romantic relationships. Yesterday, I was listening to a church service, and the guy defined purpose as, I'm gonna look back. Yeah, it changes in seasons. And when I looked at that, I was just like, dude, that's a good way to think about purpose, because sometimes we also mix up calling, purpose, vision, and the three words, they mean the same in a way, but they're completely different because time. Like, I think that's what makes them all different. Calling is like from the beginning to the end. So like our calling for relationships, like sometimes people would say, I feel led to be single. I feel led to be married. That sort of thing. That is where I would say, oh, that kind of fits. People could say it could fit in a calling category. I would not use it that way, but people would say that. Also, vision. Vision is the future, like way far in the future. Also, purpose. Purpose, he defined it as it changes in seasons. And I realize we all have seasons. We all go through different seasons in our lives where we'll experience certain things, we'll learn certain things, or we'll do certain things. And I'm not gonna lie, singleness is a season. Marriage is a season. Having kids is a season. Everything along, like all those things have its own thing. And the reason why I wanted to like talk about it is I was talking to a friend of mine who was saying like, dude, how can you handle being single? And to be honest, that is hard, because especially if you have, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep eating. Especially when you have the desire to be married, it's very difficult. But the one thing we have to be careful with is where our treasure is where our heart lies. And that's in Matthew 6:21. And I always say that verse to myself all the time, because if we're not loving God and if we're not doing the things we're called to do, we end up putting or idolizing it in terms of treasure. Like we want God to be our treasure, not our want for a relationship to be our treasure, or our want for kids to be our treasure, or our wants for a career to be our treasure. So I always say that to myself all the time. But that's what I was saying, be careful. But I found a verse that is more like a chapter chunk section, because I always say this, but I never know where it's from, because I know I read it somewhere. Like, you know how you do that all the time? Well, what I mean is there's a verse in Psalms that talks about, if you trust in God, he will give you the desires of your heart. And it's not, oh, I trust you. No, it's you fully give your all to him, not your heart. Because something like when we accept God, we give our heart to him and we give him a little trust. But when we fully let him work in our lives, work in our careers, work in our academics, work in every aspect of our lives, trust me, he will give you the desires of your heart. And the reason why I say that is because also, if we continuously pursue God, our desires change. And I've noticed that with myself, is that there are certain periods of my life where I'm pursuing God, and my desires are just completely polar opposite of what they used to be. And I was like, I would never desire something like this. But hey. So it's a chapter in Psalms 37, or it's Psalms 37. You can read the whole thing. It's, in case you don't know, Psalms written by David. I'm only reading verses 3 through 8. And I'm reading in the CSV. This is the She Reads Truth version. I'm trying to start reading this version. We'll see if I like it or not. But anyways, Psalms 37, 3 through 8. Trust in the Lord and do what is good. Dwell in the land and live securely. Take delight in the Lord and he will give you the desires, or give you your heart's desires. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him and he will act. Make your righteous shine like the dawn and your justice like the noonday. Be silent before the Lord and wait expectantly for him. Do not be agitated by one who prospers in his way, by the person who carries out evil ways. Refrain from anger and give up your rage. Do not be agitated. It will only bring harm. Listen, I remembered the verse, and recently I went back and I looked at the chapter, and I was like, dude, this chapter is pretty good. But the things that I wanted to pull out about it that would help in this sense of purpose in our desires, or I say singleness, let's say that, would have to be one. I think it starts it with it. It starts it with it and says, and of course the wind blew it. It says, trust in the Lord, and he will dwell in the land and make you live securely. And in that, the way I see that is that he will provide for me. He might not provide for me in the abundance that I would like, but if I trust him, he will make sure all my needs are met. My grandmother always told me, God will never give you more than you can bear. And that's always, I always hear that in my head all the time. The second thing is to take delight. Like, delight in the things that he's given us now, present now, meaning delight in your singleness, because and then he will give you what you desire. If you desire to be single, hey, have at it. If you desire a relationship, then have at it too. Or if you desire to go ministry, have at it. You can do that. You're single. But that, like, when you delight in the Lord, sometimes it gives you this sort of joy that kind of fills that void that sometimes you end up having. The second thing, commit. Like, I mean, you have to actually commit to it. Commit to wanting to know God every day by keeping a steady relationship with him. You have to. If not, you will always feel that emptiness that you're looking for. Also, be silent. Slow to anger. And like, I mean, we can sometimes get so angry when things aren't exactly what we planned. And it's rough. It's sad that sometimes that this relationship ended and this one is not going where it wants to be. It's sad. It hurts, but we have to be silent and we have to wait. That's the next thing. It's a big thing. I keep looking back. I'm sorry. The next thing is wait. I think that's a biggest thing. Like, you have to wait on God's timing. Trust that he knows when your time is there. And that's just what's so hard and what's so great about it, is that God knows and God wants your best, or wants your benefits. Best benefits? He wants your good. You might not think that sometimes when you're just like, God, I just want this. But he does look out for you in best interest. And I realize that, like, here's the thing, if you don't even trust God when you're pursuing relationships, even friendships, or however it may be, you will literally end up picking a fruit that looks all good on the outside but is all rotten on the inside. But like, when you lean in and you trust in God, and you can see that in some of your, like, in your life, you can notice by like the friends you've been around and the good friends you've had and the bad friends you've had. When you pick a good friend, someone who is good on the outside and good on the inside, they do wonders to your life and you do wonders to theirs. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is sometimes you have to be honest with yourself. Like, sometimes we do idolize our relationships. Sometimes we do idolize our desires to be in a relationship. And it's not good. It's not right. And you'd think, oh, it's great to desire a godly relationship. It's what God wants for us. But no, he doesn't want us to idolize it. He wants us to have that as a goal, but not as something that we think about, we dream about, we sleep, or we fantasize about. No. And to be honest, I've been there, and sometimes I go through my moments where my mind slips there, but I've been recently, maybe in the last 2020, I hate bringing up 2020, but 2020 has taught me a lot about that in terms of how to actually break these, like, idolizing. Like, there are different ways to do it, yes, depending on your personality, yes, but this has worked for me, and I want to share it with you. The first thing is to confront it, and I feel like for me that was the hardest part. It's easy to avoid it because avoiding it makes you not focus on it, which that's not true. Avoiding it makes it just stockpile, and then it just comes tumbling over when it's gotten as high as it can. But you have to confront it. You have to know that it's true, and you have to know that it's something you're struggling with. And if you don't, then you better pray to God that he will show you the things that you need to confront. Because when you don't confront them, it causes more issues coming down the line. So first, confront it. 2, pray about it. Just after you've confronted it, pray about it. Pray that God will help you with that sin. He will help you do it. Pray about it all the time. Don't just pray about it once whenever you feel it. No, you pray about it every day, because every day you get to choose where and what direction you want to go, and you want to make sure you're going that right direction. The next one, this is kind of related to it, but we're specifically talking about like idolizing relationships. Well, the next thing is write a list, not a long list, a short list on characteristics that you feel that God has led you to look for in a relationship, in a spouse. Write that down and pray over it. Second time I'm saying pray, but pray over that list. Pray over that God will send you the person that he desires for you, not that you desire. Because sometimes what we desire ain't always that good, meaning we be picking rotten fruit. But as I mean to say, he will pray about it to him. And you have your list. Fold it up, put it away. That's step number 4. Or step number 5, because 3, short list. 4, pray about it. 5, put it away. Because if you keep looking at that every single day, then it's going back to idolizing it. No, but you need to have a goals, your standards out, so that if a relationship was to come, you can look at it and be like, okay, I understand. This person ticks off this, and this. When you make your list, make sure it's not physical or characteristics. Make sure it's spiritual, not gifts, but spiritual. Your spiritual personality is the best way I can put it. Make sure it's coming from like who you are, like not saying leader, but like meaning one of the priorities. Let's say, for example, one of the priorities on mine is spiritual leadership, not just leadership, spiritual leadership. Someone who constantly pursues God. That's important to me. That's my number 1. Something like that. List like that. Not, oh, he's 5 foot X, Y, and Z. He's into fitness. No, not all that. Be specific. Anyways, fold it up, put it away. And I said that because you don't look at it all the time. It's not healthy. It's not. But it is good as a guideline for you to know in your heart what you're looking for in a person, and you're not blindly going around trying to figure out what God wants you to do. And the next thing is pray about it. Keep, not continuously pray about it. Oh God, pray about your heart. Pray about God changing your heart and your mind, and say that, even pray about your list. Tell God, listen, if my list is not up to your standards, show me. Because I made a list years ago, and I made it out of okay, I'm serious about it. And now I look back on it and I'm just like, dude, my list could have just been shortened down to 2 things. Because sometimes we start with a long list, and it's okay. And sooner or later, God starts making you get better words to describe things, and it's great. So pray about it. Pray about your heart. Not even about the list particular, but pray about your heart, that God grows you into the person that he wants you to be a good parent, to be a good spouse, to be even a good minister. Like, being able to go out, if your life is if you want to pursue your life in singleness, have at it. Make sure God gives you the heart and the mind and the strength to do that. Pray about that. Pray that he grows you. And the next thing is pray. Like, I mean, always pray about it. And it's hard to remember sometimes. I'm gonna be honest, it's hard to remember, but God knows what you want, but like, he wants you to come to him. Do that. And remember, you can't do it on your own. If you try to, you will fail. Let me say it again. You can't do it on your own. If you try to, you will fail. And that's something that I need to understand for myself, and I'm slowly learning it, because guess what? I do things, I'm an independent person, and I like to do things by myself because I can't mess up. Or I'd rather beat up on myself when I mess up than to beat up on someone else. So anyways, that concludes everything. I know this video is like 16 minutes long, but at the end of the day, I think this is an important thing. This has been on my heart recently. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but the way I always say it is your purpose in relationships, more like singleness too, and how to deal with your battles. So anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Hope you have a good new year. Well, New Year's already done, but like, hopefully you have a great start of your new year.